Hi, everyone. I am the CRM Ninja, and I'm delighted this evening to be joined by the one and only Ben Vollmer. And I'm making sure to stress the V because, it is a V, an L, an E, an M. Just wanting to make this absolutely sure for people that they know what is in his name. So when you ever come across Ben, you can, use his name properly.
Thanks for having me on, EY. It's going to be fun, I'm guessing.
It's great to have you here. So I understand that one of your passions are cars. Can you
I,
tell some
I
more
am
about that?
so ever since I've been a little kid, I've loved cars, and actually it's funny. I have a hard time with today's youth. Like my son, like, oh, I got my driver's license, whatever. I'm like, I was 16, I was in line at the driver's license bureau going, give me my driver's license now. So I have a love of cars. My wife says that if she sliced me open, that motor oil would drip out, not blood. And well,
So,
she's right.
what sort of cars do you like?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I mean, I'm picturing you sort of like a muscle Detroit car, like from the 60s or 70s, a Trans Am or a Chevy or something.
You couldn't probably be further than the truth.
Ah, okay, fine.
Um, Actually, something. So my wife, if you ever meet her, she's 4'11", so she's like this tall. She loves these big cars and trucks and SUVs. And probably my favorite car I've ever owned was I owned a E36 M3,
Okay,
which is kind of mid '90s to late '90s, 3 Series BMW, and that car was just absolutely phenomenal. Before I moved here, I don't have a car anymore, but I used to have a 1-ton Dodge Ram, which is
okay.
a U.S. pickup truck with almost a 7-liter diesel engine in it.
It's a big pickup. I've actually driven one.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I can burn the rubber right off the tires. It was awesome. 1,000 feet-pound of torque. You could. So it doesn't really matter. I did the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance, I guess 3 weeks ago it was, down here in Amelia Island,
Okay,
and went and saw. Again, everything. It doesn't really matter what kind of car. Just give me a car, and I'm a happy camper.
sounds good. And you like getting under the hood, tinkering with the mechanics and stuff?
Yeah, I actually my passion has actually been audio. So I love doing audio.
Okay,
And so car audio is actually you think about cars are probably the most inhospitable environment on the planet
yeah.
for audio, because you got glass, you've got confined spaces, and so I love putting stereos in cars and have done it for years.
Okay.
So yes, I love monkeying with them.
So if I know of anybody who's thinking of sending a car in, Pip My Ride and stuff, I can just say, audio, go to Ben.
Yes, believe it or not, I actually have had friends who've been on Pimp My Ride.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, and don't get me wrong. Every time when I was on Facebook, every time he would say something, we'd put his name, Pimp My Ride, right after it.
That's awesome. Did they ever contact you to ask you to do the audio stuff?
No, thank God, no.
Okay. Are you hoping that they will?
No. You gotta do something right in life. Like I don't care. If you're gonna do something right or wrong, just do it all the way.
Yep.
Don't half donkey something. And so in the case of like a lot of audio you see in a lot of hot rods or a lot of like Pimp My Ride, they kind of half donkeyed it.
Okay.
So it's kind of a bit entertaining. So
Got it.
I personally prefer to go all the way.
No. Like if you're going to do something, you commit 100, 110%. You make sure it's there. You make sure it's done.
Yep.
So on that note, what story do you have to share with us tonight for the Oops Factor? I know this is going to be really difficult because you need to pick just one, maybe two things.
So I'll share a couple of them that I think that made me when I look back. I don't know how you are, but when I look back on life, it kind of made me giggle a little bit.
Okay.
So my favorite one. So hang on here. Was actually about 18 years ago.
Okay.
So a long time ago, do you remember a product called Sales Logics?
Very dimly.
All right, so it was written when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we ate our own young. It was written in the mid '90s was when it was written, and
Okay.
it was a kind of a traditional kind of fat app. And you know the Outlook reminder comes up in your Outlook reminder. It
Yeah.
had one of those for everything you were overdue in Sales Logics.
Okay.
And my name for that was the mother-in-law box because it nagged you and never went away.
Mother-in-law bugs. I got to remember that one. Okay.
And it always kind of got a chuckle and a laugh, and everybody kind of loved it and everything else. The I was doing a demo of Sales Logics to a library book buying association. So they were a company that bought books in bulk from publishers and then sold them to libraries at a
Okay.
very much reduced rate. And I was doing something in the box pop. I'm like, oh, here's my mother-in-law box. That thing just nags me and never goes away. And the sales guy, Tim Melton, who was next to me, he kicked me so hard, I'm pretty sure my shin still has a bump in it. And then I kind of popped up and I looked around the room. And it was
How many people were there in the room?
probably 8 or 10 people.
Okay, small room.
Small room. Every one of them. Late 40s, early 50s through late 50s women.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that one.
I failed to read my audience when.
Were they all looking at you very disapprovingly?
Yes, they were.
With sort of that librarian look that they've caught you talking when you shouldn't be talking.
Yes, they all give me the blank stare.
Right.
I'm used to that one, by the way, but yes, I got that quite a bit.
Okay.
So that was probably again, you talk about oops. That was probably we didn't win the deal, by the way. We lost the deal. Customer did not buy.
Did you ask for feedback as to why?
I don't know if my actions caused that or not, but
Okay, so you didn't ask for a feedback. Dear customer, please tell us why we didn't get the deal. Dear Ben.
I'm pretty sure Tim just walked out of his head going. That was kind of an oops. I would say that again, you think about an oops. That was one that
Yeah,
stay with me forever, and
I can understand why you think oops for that one.
it made me laugh pretty heartily.
It's making me crack up here.
I get it. It's I think there are oops that you do in life that are kind of changing, and those that aren't changing. And yep. I think that was one that didn't really change anything. It gave me a story to tell 20 years later. That makes me, that's a good story to tell.
I know that's definitely a good story to tell. So, any others you want to share with us that you've learned a lesson from, and to avoid the oops happening again, and that people can relate to their own lives?
I think there's lots. I mean, I could write a book on what not to do in life as opposed to what to do in life. Don't do these things. Do these things.
I'm signing up for the first copy of it when it gets released. By the way, just here on video, everybody can see that.
Yeah, but unlike Andrew, I probably will never actually write the first paragraph. So
he's already on his second book.
I think he actually is on his second book already.
He is. I've seen some of the snippets from it.
So here's what I think the audience might enjoy is what I've learned through making all sorts of mistakes in life.
Okay.
Is that you have to take into account what you're doing and how you're doing it, and you have to I put limitations on myself. Like, for example, anyone who knows me knows I'll say some pretty stupid stuff over time.
Okay.
So I will not go out past 10 o'clock at night. I seriously, if there's a company function, I do not go out past 10 o'clock at night because, my dad used to say nothing good happens after 10 o'clock at night, or 2200 for the rest of the world.
Yep.
I don't drink at company events. Not that I don't mind drinking, not that I have a problem with drinking. I just I will walk around with a beer, drink down to below the label, carry the beer around, below the label, put it down, and get another one.
Okay.
I avoid large gatherings. I have ADHD, squirrel, which, onto itself, I got no story about that you'll actually enjoy. Onto itself, isn't a problem, but it means that I sometimes either something hits my head and it just spits out, or I don't think something all the way through before I spit it out. And so I've learned that, like, when I go out to dinner, you'll see when if you've ever been to one of the community events,
Yep.
You'll notice that for dinner, you never see me around. There's a group dinner. Ben comes in, waves, smiles, and bolts. I come in, I greet everybody. Everybody knows that I'm there, and then I might go to a small dinner with 3 or 4 or 5 people.
Okay.
But I've learned that it's better for my personal sanity not to do that.
So sort of know your limitations in it and put appropriate boundaries in place.
Yeah, and it works out pretty well for me. Another oops. I laugh at something that I laugh about. There was a person I was working with several years ago, and she got rather impassioned about something that wasn't her job to do.
Okay.
She kept getting passionate about it, and she kept sending these longer and longer emails on why I should do what she wanted me to do, which wasn't what I was going to do. And the emails got longer and longer and longer and longer. And so finally, if you ever read emails from me, my emails are 2 or 3 sentences, a quick pop, and I'm done.
Our communication has been like that, a couple of sentences you, a couple of sentences me. Yeah.
She wrote back this big, long, it could have been half of War and Peace. It was about
You could have printed it and written a book from it.
I could have printed a book and written a book from it. And I did probably the worst thing possible in the reply.
Okay.
I replied back with 2 words.
Okay.
Space, no, ... send. I didn't give it any more. I mean, it was literally, she poured her heart and soul in this email. And she was going to get me to get to the point that I got this point. And I replied back, no. And I clicked.
Her soul must have been destroyed.
Well, the email to and CC line went from about 4 people to about 40 people. So that's kind of one that, again, probably would like to, if I had a mulligan in life, I probably would do that one over and probably not, reply back with no.
Viewers, take this in mind. Don't reply with no ...
You can if you want to. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I just
don't blame Ben.
I personally wouldn't do it again. How's that? It's
yeah. No, I can understand that. There's some good lessons.
On that, I think the things you should do though is show empathy. I think a lot of people don't. What I've learned as part of not me being a knucklehead is you got to be empathetic. And empathy covers a multitude of sins. And so I can be a jackass, and I know it. Sorry. But then empathy kind of can cover over the sins of me being a jackass.
Got it. It's very important. It's that human touch and trying to understand what's going through that other person's mind. Yeah. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you like it if you read your own response, sort of thing? Yeah. Very important.
Like the no response. I completely 100% understand why she went off. Like, you've never seen so many vice presidents copy that an email so fast. I understand why. I mean, I told her baby was ugly, but I did it in 2 words. So, I think we all make mistakes, though. I think the important thing is to know that when you make a mistake, for me, it's the self-reflection of why did I make the mistake, what I do to make the mistake, and how do I not make that same mistake again?
Yeah. And then learning from it. Look, we all make mistakes, but that's how we get better at what we do. Yep. And that really is also why I started this whole interview thing, to bring not just my stories, but people around who involved in a variety of different things, some of which I would never been involved in, and to learn and to share.
And so that's really, you know, what we're doing. And those are two stories, I think. And, you know, there's probably more if you probe, but those are two that are kind of fun.
No, those are really good. Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on, anyway.
Absolute pleasure. So I have to ask, who would you nominate to come on and share their story?
Hmm. So what you're asking is who's the biggest failure I know? Is that what you just asked me?
Not at all. Not at all. Besides, as we just said, we learn from it. So, you know, big failing means big advancement.
Yeah. You know, I actually think that there's actually a couple people that I would say you should talk to.
Okay. I'm more than happy for you to do multiple nominations.
Okay. Yeah. The big thing is just yeah. Let me get you over some names because I'm not going on record saying who's a failure. So just so you know, you're not going to get that out of me today.
No. This isn't about being a failure. This is who you want to hear stories from.
I got some folks to nominate for you that I think that would be good to talk about. You know, because I think you know we Tom Yang and I are coworkers here. We did a bunch of sessions when Mercury, which is Microsoft's reorgs, happened about 3 years ago.
Right.
And one of my favorite quotes is, you know, life is, you know, 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it.
Very true.
And so I think that the trick is you got to find people who understand that mistakes they made, how they responded to them, and how they came back out of it. So I got some people I think you might be interested in talking to. I'll kick them over to you.
Wonderful. I look forward to it. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this and that you've laughed at least half as much as I have. Feel free to check out the rest of the videos on the Oops Factor series and subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.